Yo, Escape from Tarkov is without a doubt the worst video game on the planet to get into as a new player. For a second there, I know I made the 3 masochists who clicked on this video angry. But honestly, I don't think there's another video game out there that's worse than Escape from Tarkov for new players just starting the game out. I could nitpick every little aspect I dislike about this game because there's a lot, but I'm going to focus on the biggest issues I have with this game and why those reasons make Escape from Tarkov a horrendous experience for new players. First off, this game demands that you pour a ton of time into it just so you can possibly maybe have a bit of an understanding of how the game functions. It is to be expected that every new game you play has a bit of a learning curve, but you'd imagine after maybe 5 or 10 hours of playing a game, you'd get somewhat of a good grasp on the fundamentals and you kinda know what you're doing. Not with this piece of shit game. I've wasted around 130-ish hours of my time playing this game, and one of the funnier parts about that is that I still don't know what the I'm doing. But what's even funnier than that is I'm still considered a noob by the Tarkov community because my playtime is absolutely nothing compared to what's required to be considered an experienced Tarkov player. Here's a funny but brief story that I have that's relevant to this. So I only ever decided to play this piece of shit game because the streamers I watch who play this game make the game look so fun. Not too long ago, I was watching my favorite streamer playing some Tarkov, Summit1G, and while I was watching his stream, he unfortunately died during a raid. After Summit scanned the dude's profile a bit, I shit you not, Summit looked at the guy's playtime and said 660 hours? That's not enough hours to play that well. Let's report this player just in case he's cheating. Can excuse me? 660 hours isn't enough playtime? And then I got a little curious because in that moment I realized, wait, I've never died to someone who had around the same amount of playtime as I did. Since I was getting shit on by players with way more hours than me, I got a little curious and decided to take a look at the Tarkov community and see what everyone's playtime was looking like. And guess what? After looking online, I found out that 400 hours is still considered to be in the noob territory. And I'm not even joking. I went on over to Reddit to take a look at everyone's hours, and without any surprise, people have played this game for hundreds and thousands of hours, and this particular post I was looking at was from 3 years ago, so just imagine how many more hours these people have clocked in since this post was made. And like I said, it's agreed upon by the community that 400 hours still makes you a new player. I have like 130, so what does that make me? It takes so many hours to learn this game because there are so many things you have to learn if you even want to remotely play the game correctly. You don't have to just learn the gameplay itself, which could be a learning curve if you've never played an FPS similar to Tarkov, but you have to learn how to do quests properly, you have to learn what bullets go with which guns, you have to learn where to find certain items to either complete your quests or upgrade your hideout. You have to learn all the locations to extract out of the raid for each map, which change every raid and also change depending on whether you load into a raid as a PMC or a scav. I can go on and on about all the shit you need to learn in Escape from Tarkov, but I'd imagine you get the gist. There's just too many things you have to learn about this game, which is why it requires hundreds of hours just to get the grasp of Tarkov. I got to the point of knowing the very basics, but that's about it. And even though I was still considered to be a new player, you can bet your ass I wasn't playing against new players like me. Which brings me to my second reason why Escape from Tarkov is a shit video game to get into as a new player. There is no matchmaking in this game. If you have 2 hours on Escape from Tarkov, a virgin with 2,000 hours might be in the same raid as you and there's nothing you can do about it. I think the lowest amount of hours someone had that unalived me during a raid was around the high 300s, which is still considered to be a new player. However, on average, the people shitting on me have anywhere from 1,000 to 4,000 hours. The very last man who took my life, which inspired me to quit Tarkov for the 3rd time, was a man who had a whopping 9,970 hours. I actually recorded this incident, so here it is on the screen now. Now, to give some clarification of this clip, I'm playing on ground zero and I thought I heard someone running underneath us about 5 or so minutes ago. But just as fast as I heard the running, it stopped. So I had the feeling someone was either camping the stairwell waiting for us, or it was a scav that eventually ran out of the building and I just couldn't hear it. I couldn't really tell though because I didn't have headphones during this raid. So I took the gamble that it was a scav, because surely they wouldn't wait in a stairwell for 5 minutes without moving a muscle, right?
Goodbye, my nigger. Back to the lobby.
Yep. So this guy knew me and my cousin were up here, Sat here for at least 5 minutes without making a sound, just waiting. After we got sent back to the lobby, we decided to look at these players' playtime a little bit closer.
Oh, hell no!
Like, how many hours do you have to dedicate? Hold up, let's do math. For someone to have 9,000 hours on Escape from Tarkov, which has been around since 2017, they have to put in 21 hours a week.
Pretty
You know what that
insane.
is? You know
But
what that is? That's a part-time job.
That's assuming they started when the game came out.
That's assuming when they started. Yeah, exactly.
These are the type of people you're forced to play against as newer players. There is no special matchmaking for low-ranked players or players with low playtime. You can have 2 hours in the game and die by someone who has 2,000 hours in the game, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can call it a skill issue on my part for dying by this guy in the stairwell, which it is, but it's much more than that. This guy has played this game for so long to the point where it could be considered a part-time job, and even if I had a few more 100 hours in the game, the result would have most likely remained the same. And obviously the amount of hours you need in this game is ridiculous, and the fact that there's no matchmaking, so you're going to be in raids with people who treat Tarkov as a job. I haven't even mentioned the worst part about this game yet, the part that seasoned Tarkov virgins and even Timmies like me can agree on. Tarkov has a huge problem with cheaters, and they've had a huge problem with cheaters for years. I personally can't identify cheaters as well as some people can, because some cheaters are more low-key about it, but I've died a few times my last play session that was pretty sus. This is just one of the many ways people are cheating in this game, and they're getting away with cheating because the devs allow them to. There's egregious cheaters who fly around the map and you can't do anything about it, and then there's low-key cheaters who you die by and you think that they're cheating, but you're just not too sure. This game's been around for years, and for years people have been complaining about cheating. Anyways, in conclusion, I think this game is awful for new players. However, I don't think it's an awful game. We all have games that we enjoy that are bad. For example, I play Overwatch, and that game is regarded as being trash by a lot of players, but Overwatch is my trash. Just like Tarkov is a lot of people's preferred trash. There's nothing wrong with that at all, and I recognize that Tarkov can be a very fun game. I've given this game so many chances because of that reason. It can be fun. However, I just cannot recommend this game for new players at all. I've also seen that Tarkov is coming to Steam soon, so that might attract some new players, but if a potential new player is watching this video right now and they still want to try the game out, be my guest. You might enjoy it. However, I have some advice for you. As a new player getting into Tarkov, you have to ensure that your life is at its lowest and you're at or close to being rock bottom before you play this game. You cannot be happy and satisfied with life when you're getting into Tarkov. Did your girlfriend just leave you for the guy she told you not to worry about? I think it's about time you install Tarkov. Did your wife divorce you when you lost the kids in a custody battle that spanned 6 months and ate up a lot of your money? Sounds like a perfect time for Tarkov. Did you just lose your great paying job and now you're forced to move back in with your parents because you can't sustain living alone anymore? I think it's Tarkov time. You get what I mean? This game is fun. Heed my advice. It might just make your experience with Tarkov greater than mine. Anyways, that's it for the video. Remember to stay hydrated and to stay swaggy. Adios.